you've like, I guess, gone against the grain in a way that you have gone through a college, you've dropped out and brought that thought in your mind to go, I don't want to work for anyone else. I know I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to have my own business. Was it influenced by anyone else, or did you come to that conclusion yourself?
I always just knew, because I was brought up with it, it never came across my mind like, oh, should I own a business? It was almost just like, it's what I want to do.
Alfie Bricknell is a young and upcoming entrepreneur and the owner of Musikbox UK, a platform designed to help support independent artists gain more recognition. Not only that, he has begun a new business venture helping businesses and clients seek better opportunities.
I always loved music. I actually DJ'd a bit. Still do a little bit here and now. I do a bit of drum and bass and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I've always liked music. I'm not really a musician, but I thought, well, why not show people that there is a bit of music going on and put some stuff on myself?
Yeah.
So at that point, I'd known a couple of musicians from the local area, Derby. I thought, well, let's create a platform just showcasing them.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Your Life Beyond the Boardroom. I am your podcast host, Luke Beastall, and we have our second in-person guest, Alfie. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thanks so much for having me here. It's such a nice space that we've got here. I love it.
I know, we was just literally chilling before and going, even though this room is pretty cozy, but what you can actually do with it is amazing. But look, I'm going to give you a bit of an insight to obviously Alfie's background, and then we're going to delve into this episode. So we had met, Ollie, he's behind the cameras, you can't see him, but they had kind of connected behind the scenes, and Ollie had reached out to Alfie and said, would you be up for an episode? So here we are, just before he's about to move to Spain, which I think is pretty epic that we've got him in just before he flies out there. But he is a young entrepreneur. He's 100% up and coming, and I'm really excited to have him on because we're going to be delving into what's brought him to where he is today. But he's recently just set up a digital marketing agency called Dundiff. I'll let you work out what that name actually stands for, but I'm sure you'll share later on with the guests as well. So he's also got a platform called Musikbox where he actually interviews up-and-coming music artists, established music artists, and understands where they wanted to take their music. So it's a community-based platform as well, which I think is really good on obviously what we're trying to create here. But I think as well what's really good about this is Alfie's on the other side today.
I know, it's so weird being in the spot where I'm being interviewed, because I was just saying to you as well, I'm hardly ever interviewed. I'm always the interviewer, so I feel like I can almost relax. I'm not having to think of things on the ball, but it's nice to be in this spot for once. Yeah,
definitely. And I think you said before, was this your first in-person one?
So it's my first time someone interviewing me in person, a proper setup and stuff. So it's my first ever one, yeah.
Oh, brilliant stuff, brilliant. And so just in terms of, I know I gave you a bit of a brief sort of intro on what it is you do, but could you elaborate a little bit more on that so the audience get a bit more of an understanding of, I guess, where you are right now?
Of course, yeah. So I set up Musikbox, which is a platform supporting up-and-coming musicians by doing interviews, like we said, and features on our website, and then we also put on music events. So I'm based in Derby, before I moved to Spain.
I was going to say,
I might have to, just to let you guys know I'm going to be in Spain, but I have been based in Derby putting on music events for upcoming musicians and supporting upcoming musicians. I think we're up to 300 features on the website now, where you can check out loads of upcoming artists for any genre, from anywhere. We've got people from like Australia, America. It's pretty mad. So that's Musikbox. Coming up in the future, really, what I've just set up is a digital marketing agency called Dundiff, which stands for Done Differently.
There you go. Did anyone get it?
So I set up Dundiff as a way to kind of get my skills out there, creating websites, doing social media for businesses, and also doing branding too. Whether it's posters, banners, anything a business might need in terms of branding, like logos and stuff like that. So I've just set up Dundiff as well.
No, that's fantastic. And obviously I think as well, this at such a young age as well, I think is really exciting for you. Obviously now relocating, you can work remotely as well. But I'm just kind of curious now. I mean, obviously you said about the 300 features. Obviously your music platform is really exciting. I think just obviously doing a little bit of research on your background and stuff. So what made you decide on creating this platform I guess, expose more of these artists?
Yeah. So this is a question I get asked a lot.
I'm sure.
When I'm not in an interview, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so basically, I've always been into business. I've always wanted to own my own business. And this is where I can speak so much because before I first started, it was almost like it was just natural to me to own a business. And that's because my dad owned a business when I was, just born, really. And I was brought up with that. I saw, I was always surrounded in that area. My mum was, working with him. My mum's also owned a candle business.
Oh, no way.
And a lot of like family and friends and stuff have owned businesses. So for me, it was almost like natural. And I'd love to own a business. I can't really imagine working for someone else. So at the age of probably like 10, I was not even 10, like 7. I'd make like, I don't know, like loom bands, some little loom band things. Yeah. I'd actually, I remember we'd be like a wedding or like an event and stuff, and it was one wedding that we went to, and I'd actually create loom band things and just sell them to people. And that's just me not even realising I'm selling loom band bracelets to people. And I'd make money from it. I'd love it. Or I'd go out on the front of our house, on the driveway, set up a bit of a desk, and just sell to people walking past. And I never realised, this is a business thing. And then sort of coming up to like 12, I was that interested in it that I did what everyone does and tried experimenting with drop shipping. Tried a bit of t-shirt stuff, a bit of fashion, all that stuff. 12 years old, I didn't really know what I was doing. But good experience. My dad helped me out with that, of course, because I was so young.
Yeah, sure.
And I just experimented with some of that stuff. I'm in school at that point. I was always decent at school, I was never I never really studied. I never did revision and all that. But I was always thinking of the next business idea, even though I was that young. Then obviously you come to your GCSEs, where you've done your GCSEs, decent grades, whatever, and then it's the decision: do I go on to college? Well, you kind of have to now because you have to be in education until you're 18 or over now. So it was almost I'm forced to do some sort of education. So I chose business in college, T-level business, and at this point, like I said, I'm constantly thinking of business ideas. So I'm thinking, what should I do next? I'm seeing my dad do stuff. I'm seeing my mum do a couple of stuff. I'm helping her out with candle stuff. So she'd be creating candles and she'd want some help with social media. And because I'm obviously young, I'd know a bit about that. And that's where a lot of the experience came from. I'd help her film some videos. I'd be at markets basically every week selling candles to people. Pop art candles, like big pink bright candles. And
they love candles. Honestly, you need to talk to my fiance Abby about candles. We have candles everywhere in the house, so there might be a conversation there.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I was helping her out with candles, and then going into college, I was doing business in college, and it was such a small class. There was 10 people in the class because it was T-level business, which is really new. I think it's 2 years, 3 years new. So I was doing business in college. I just wasn't enjoying it at all. And obviously I'd been surrounded with business for quite a long time, so I'm learning stuff that I've never ever heard of, which is fine, new stuff. I'm learning new stuff, but then it gets to the point where it's they're teaching you about Six Sigma and all the stuff that management styles and stuff. And I was thinking, well, this isn't really going to help me where I am now in creating a business. So I actually sacked it off, and I dropped out of college after the first year. And then set up Musikbox, which is a platform to support up-and-coming musicians. So leading up to the question that you asked, finally.
I know. We got there. It's good though.
I know, yeah. Leading up to, why did I even start Musikbox, what made me think of this idea, was me searching for a business opportunity all the time, constantly thinking. I went on Facebook, went in local areas, so Spotted Derby, and then all the little spotted towns and stuff, Spotted Ilkeston, all that stuff. I went in them and just put in all the groups what's needed more in Derby. Nothing to do with music. What's needed more in Derby? What's needed more in Derby? Everyone was we need more music events. We need more music events. We need more this. We need more that. I was okay, because I've always loved music. I actually DJ'd a bit at the age of 15. Still do a little bit here and now. I do a bit of drum and bass and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I've always liked music. I'm not really a musician, but I thought, well, why not show people that there is a bit of music going on and put some stuff on myself?
Yeah.
So at that point, I'd known a couple of musicians, from the local area, Derby. I thought, well, let's create a platform just showcasing them, in which I will show their music, I'll show their story, do interviews with them, show their social media so you can just go on there. Problem is with the music industry, it's so saturated now and there's so many artists out there, it's hard to find up-and-coming artists. When you go on Google and you try and search up-and-coming artists, it don't come up with up-and-coming artists because there's just too much there. So I thought I'd create a platform that shows them off, I could put events on, I can do interviews, and that is where it all started with creating the platform Musikbox.
That's insane. And there's a lot that you shared there which I think is really good. And there's just some points that really stood out for me while it's on my mind, because obviously you can lose your trail of thought. So obviously you grew up in an environment where, I mean, both parents are business owners. So naturally when you're kind of in that environment, you're exposed to it, you see what's going on. Obviously, even from a young age, you was doing an exchange. You understood sales, you were having conversations, you built that confidence to, I guess, sell a service, sell a product, like you could talk about it, which I think is really good. Then obviously you then delved into behind the scenes stuff. I'm just wanting the audience to understand the work that you've done behind the scenes that they'll probably never truly see, weekend after weekend of showing up to these stores and putting these candles out there and then doing the cameras and behind the scenes with your mum. I think that's brilliant and really good that you've got that hard work ethic as well. But what story or what brought that thought in your mind to go, I don't want to work for anyone else. I know I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to have my own business. Was it influenced by anyone else, or did you come to that conclusion yourself?
It's never been influenced by my parents. I've had people say to me, like, oh, don't do what your parents want you to do what you want to do. I'm like, I want to own a business. This is something that I want to do. There was never a moment that I knew I wanted to own my own business. There's been times where I've tried working for someone else, even whether it's in an office or whether I've been in like roller skating rinks, just doing a bit of here and there. I've tried it, and it's just influenced the fact that I just don't want to work for someone else even more. I think I always just knew, because I was brought up with it, it never came across my mind like, oh, should I own a business? It was almost just like, it's what I want to do. There was never a point where I was like, I'm going to own a business. It was just there. And that's, it's just always been there. Like, I want to own the business. And, you see, you're your own person. When you own a business, you everything's dependent on you, which can be a really good thing, of course. But I like that. People might think it's a bad thing because you have to do everything yourself at the start, especially when you're starting out a business. You're your own salesman, your own marketing person, video editor, everything. I don't know. I just thought, I want to be able to do everything myself and create a bit of a team, hopefully, eventually, create a team around me and be the business owner rather than working for someone else, because I just think the opportunities, if you're working for someone else, like, they might be all right, they might be decent. You can work in a company, get a few promotions, earn a good bit of money, whatever. But here's the other thing, I just don't want to be stuck in the same place. So you get a good job, if it can be digital, you can move around.
Yeah, sure.
But you get a good job, and most of the time you just stay in the same area and you get a bit stuck. You have kids, you have a family, whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you just get stuck in this rut where you're having to work until you're, it's getting higher and higher now, and it's like 67 or something now, which is nuts. I don't want to work until I'm 67, unless I'm working for myself, and I enjoy what I do. So it was just a thought of, I feel like the opportunities, if you set up your own business, are just so much bigger, because obviously there's the money side of things, but then, like I said, everything's dependent on you. So if you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it.
It's really good what you're sharing though, Alfie, because I think the society today where technically, obviously, like you said, you stay in education till you're 18, then you go university, you kind of put yourself in debt. Maybe what you study you don't necessarily even go into. There's so many stories that we hear. You've, I guess, gone against the grain in a way that you have gone through a college, you've dropped out, and you've set up a business at 17. I will say this from someone that, always knew as well, that I wanted to run my own business, because I was, a footballer, not to go back onto my story. But it's the main thing is that you've done it at such an early age. So I would love to know, and this, I know it is about you, but I'd love to know, with you setting up this business, what was the kind of vibe and energy around, your close friends, your support network, your family, when you decided, I'm dropping out of college, 17, and I'm going to set up my own business?
Yeah. So my parents, they're completely supportive of it.
Of course.
My mum was a bit sceptical, obviously. Oh, you're dropping out of college, dropping out of education. Oh my God, what are you going to do? She was a bit sceptical at first, but because she's always been in that environment as well, and so has my dad, it was like, well, I'm almost not going to blame you for doing that, because you can be stuck in a job for education, whatever. But they weren't too almost bothered. They know that I work hard anyway. I'm not just going to drop out of college and then just sit at home and do nothing all day. I drop out of college and, to me, do something that feels more productive, something that I enjoy. Friends, I've got a couple that were really supportive, you know.
Yeah.
Really close friends that are really supportive, but then so many people hate what I'm doing. You know, it's almost like, why are you doing that? You're not going to be successful. That's stupid. Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
Wow. So what? As in, not trolling you, but are they sending you messages, or is it comments? Like what? Yeah. Where's this come from? Because
so just people that I knew, maybe from school, maybe from college. You know, they're all in education, whatever. And yeah, it'd just be like the group chat I'm in. Oh, you know, Alfie, why have you posted this? Why like? It's almost like, why are you doing this? You know, you're not going to make any money from it. This, that, and the other. Not trolls, just
no,
like,
I know.
Yeah. So you just got to get on with it, really. And you just ignore it, and so yeah.
Sometimes, you know, it's the quality and not the quantity, especially. And you know, if they was your friends, obviously they would support your journey. I mean, I think, again, having your family support is obviously really helpful in this, and just even having a small group. But I think what I like about what you've shared so far as well is the fact that you've had that courage to go out to your local area and ask them what's missing. I haven't heard anyone actually do that, you know, because everything nowadays is so behind a screen, and everyone's sort of like, you know, from like the COVID days, trapped at home. So I guess even like dropping CVs off at a desk is not a thing anymore, right? So because obviously everything started to change. So for you to go out, I know you did it in community groups and stuff like that. What made you even, I guess, think about that idea to go, I'm just going to see what the people are wanting more of?
Because the people that want something, they're going to buy it, or they're going to buy into it. At least they're going to be interested in it. So if no one wanted to watch films, then no one would watch Netflix. You know, you have to get advice from the people, because they're going to be your customers, or the people that watch, or the people that buy into your business. At the end of the day, they're the people that you're asking. I always think there has to be some sort of market. And I also think if there isn't a market in something that you're setting up, then it's going to be even more difficult, because it's not established. You know, no one knows about it. But no, it's just like, I want to see what other people want. Like I said, I was thinking of business ideas, thinking. I never knew it'd be music, but when I asked them, what do you guys want more of? What is what needs to be more of in Derby? They said music events. So I thought, I'll experiment with it, try a bit of music events, set up a platform, and off we go. Yeah, and now it's just grown and grown and grown, and yeah, that's basically my thought behind it. I have to ask the people that
I like that
what they want. Yeah,
I like that, and it's so true. Obviously, you ask people what they want, they're going to be more likely to be invested in it. They're going to be more likely committed to it. I mean, obviously, there is that flip side when people do say, I want that, or do this, and oh yeah, please have more of that, and then you do decide to do that, and then it's like a ghost town. So obviously, you've hit the jackpot there. So when you actually decided to set up Musikbox and then start interviewing, you know, these up and coming music artists, when you put it out there, was the interest really high?
Yeah, I think all the features on the website have always been free. So the whole goal of Musikbox is to support up and coming artists. Nice. So all the features, interviews and stuff, they're always free for artists, because I want to get the name out there. I want to get the word out there. And obviously put something out there for free, and people want to be involved in it. And the more the community grows, even when I had 10 people feature, I remember before launching the website, I thought I want to get 5 people on there. I had 5 people on there. And I was happy with that. 5 people on there, go and check out a couple of upcoming artists. It launched, quite a few hundred people had a look at it, there we go. And then from there, you just get word of mouth, don't you, really? Mm-hmm. People recommending other artists, and I'd be grafting on social media like every day. Like I said, when you set up a business by yourself, if it's your own business, when you're doing it by yourself, no one else is helping you, it's just you have to do everything yourself. So I'd be sitting there, social media posts, videoing myself doing silly things, whatever. It's almost like whatever now to get a couple views, you know. But
Mad times.
Yeah,
Mad times we're living.
But it worked, and
more
musicians came to me. You know, they wanted to see what I had to offer. I did my first ever interview with a guy called Jamie Joseph.
Okay.
And it was actually such a good first ever interview because me, obviously, I was so nervous. Starting out, first ever interview, you probably know.
I do
first
know,
ever interview. Of course. It's a bit terrifying. You're like, what do I ask? Do I need a script? Everything. But it was such a good interview because he was signed to Sony Records at one point.
Really?
So,
Wow.
So he's upcoming. But, he's got like over 1 million plays on one of his songs. So
amazing.
For a first interview, it was great. And I remember I was really happy with it. And I was just, over the moon with it. And then from there, just grabbed a couple more interviews, reaching out to people, messaging people on Instagram, getting one reply out of 1,000, as you do. And that's just how it's been. You know, it's picked up obviously now where people are reaching out to me more so. But people just kind of thought, well, I want a free interview. I want to get my story out there as a musician. I want to be featured on this website where people can discover up and coming artists. And even though that's the main goal, discover up and coming artists on a website, we've had events organisers come on, book people for gigs, stuff like that.
Fantastic.
So it's used as like a platform where people can just do whatever they want with artists. You know, you can find people for gigs, they can find new music, artists can collaborate with other artists on there. And it's just growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, no, that is really good, and obviously I've seen kind of we'll plug it in then so people can kind of check it out. But what has been the hardest moment or thing at this like current time that has been the toughest, the hardest thing for you running a business?
That's such a hard question, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say consistency.
Okay.
And because I love it, I'm going to keep consistent with it. But there's just some days where you probably know, every business owner will know this, they go through it. No one has a perfect run.
Yeah.
If you do, you might be one out of millions, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it's just like keeping consistent. You might get out of bed one day and just think, oh, I've had no emails, especially at the start. I've had no emails, no followers, no nothing, no feedback from any artists, nothing for 2 weeks. And then, I've got to create another social media. And it's just that consistency. And I think at the start that was really difficult. And even now sometimes, you know, you get them spots where it's really difficult to get a bit of attraction on anything. You have these spots where it just goes quiet for a bit. And I'll just say one of the hardest things is consistency, but because you love it or because I love it, it's just, I can't really not do it. Now I'm in it. I just love it so much that I wouldn't want to stop it. So it's almost one of the things like, it's one of the hardest things ever to keep consistent, especially when I was out of college. It was almost like, oh my God, I've actually got no plan B.
Yeah.
So going off on another tangent now.
Well, your back's against the wall, isn't it?
Exactly,
in a way, you're putting your back against the wall where you've got to make it happen.
Yeah. I actually spoke to a music artist the other day. He's called Harry Giorgio.
Okay.
Super cool guy. I'm actually putting an interview out tonight. And he said something I'm actually going to remember for quite a while. He said, it's a bit of a theory that he said. I kind of agree with it. I think I do agree with it, actually. And he said, why do people have like plan A and B? Especially if you're young, you know, you're just going straight in with what you like or what you love. He's a musician, so he said, I only have a plan A. Why would I have a plan B? Because if I had a plan B, I'm really doubting that my plan A is going to fail.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, I love plan A. Plan A is this thing I want to do for the rest of my life. But here's something else on the side. If it fails, I'll do that. But then you're already doubting this thing that I love might not work. It's obviously controversial, very controversial.
Yeah, I understand.
Because you need a bit of a plan B to fall back on.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, you know, you don't want to be homeless or whatever.
Yeah.
My thought now is because I'm so young, I'm still living with my parents. I haven't got a car. I get a bus everywhere.
Yeah. I get you. Plan A is sound for you, though.
Oh, yeah, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then I'll probably just go on to another idea. And for me, it's like I'm never going to stop wanting to be a business owner. And it's almost, even if I'm 40, I'm still going to keep doing it. And there might be times where I'm really struggling and I might not, I probably won't be living with my parents in the next 4 or 5 years, hopefully. But there might be times where I might be really struggling for money, but I'll just get a part-time job and continue thinking of new ideas or new business ideas. But I just like the idea of like, why have a plan B? Because plan A, if you're already doubting your plan A, if you have a plan B.
I agree. Just my 2 cents on that, because I really do like that. Obviously, it all depends on your responsibilities and circumstances. Obviously, if you've got kids, you've got dependents and stuff, ideally you've got to have some level of income. However, I do see the other side, because if you have got a plan B, plan C even, having these different options, it can distract you emotionally. Because if you're in a volatile state where maybe you're a bit scarce, maybe this plan A that you're, again, what you love the most, like what you said, I send out 1,000 emails and I get 1 response. It's quite demoralising. That rejection for a lot of people, probably people can't handle it. That's probably the reason why, they haven't maybe even decided to start that business. Or maybe they've started it but gone straight back because they've gone, well, you told me I've got to send out that amount of messages. I did it. And then, I used to do it, in business, it was like 100 messages a day and stuff like that. And, you wouldn't get any responses. So I do really like that theory. And I think just going back to, your music box, because, obviously we'll get onto the agency and stuff. For you now, where do you see this going?
I just want to keep growing it, really. I just want to keep growing it and growing it. Making a big community. I've already got a nice community behind me now, music box community, where we've got loads of artists. I just want to keep growing it, see where it takes me. It might not be the make or break thing that will make me loads of money, but I just love doing it to help artists and to have that platform there. It's amazing for networking. I always talk about LinkedIn. I was talking to Ollie behind the camera about it before. LinkedIn's amazing.
It is good,
And just being a part of almost representing music artists, I love it because I can go to an event. I'll go on to LinkedIn in a minute, but I'll go to an event and it's nice to know people there, meet new musicians, see their stories, help them out a bit with social media. But it really, my LinkedIn built up quite well because of music, and I connected to a few musicians, but most importantly, record labels, stuff like that, where I can get to other music artists through them and collaborate and do stuff like that. But where I see Musikbox going is just growing and growing, and it might just be something that's there always, where it'll keep growing. I'll keep doing more interviews. I've got other people doing interviews for me now.
That's good.
And it's helping them build their portfolio, and they're part of the Musikbox community now where they're helping other musicians. So even if I can just create it to be a big platform where it's you see BBC introducing and stuff, not so much like that, but just a platform that's supporting up-and-coming musicians, a platform that's growing, can interview as many musicians as we can, put on events, local events, supporting artists, getting them a few gigs when it's difficult to get gigs, getting their name out there. I just love to keep doing that, which also leads on to the reason why I'm setting up Dundiff, which I will speak about.
Yeah. I can see, obviously I'm quite business-minded, so I can see, not the reason why you've set up Dundiff, because obviously you've got your reason, but from a business perspective, I can see why you've decided to set it up. I'll ask you this question. So obviously you've interviewed a ton of music artists, right? You've learned a lot from them, I guess. When you're interviewing them and they're talking about certain things, I don't know obviously exactly all the questions you ask, but what have you felt that's missing in their career that could accelerate it?
Just the knowledge about social media. I always say it. Social media knowledge.
In what way though?
So getting yourself out there, and the problem is, I literally always say this. If anyone's watching this and knows me, I say this all the time. I just feel like I haven't repeated it enough. I still have to keep saying it. So basically, before, maybe a couple 5-10 years ago, there was people that weren't on social media, and there were people that were on social media. And when social media was growing, it was almost like, get yourself on social media, get some likes, get your name out there. Now, obviously, we're in 2024 after COVID. Basically, everyone's on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone apart from my grandma that would be on social media.
Gotta use the phone still.
And the difference is now it's not get yourself on social media. It's everyone's on social media. So if everyone's on social media, what do? There's no almost difference. Which in my brain, Dundiff, be different.
Nice.
And you literally have to be different as a musician. There's millions of musicians, so many bands, so many artists, and if you're not different, then why will you get spotted? Why will people listen to your music? And social media, even if it is playing a game, which can be so like you said, demoralising, where you're having to send out emails to people, you're having to record videos that you don't want to record, where you're promoting your music, but you almost have to play the game and get your name out there as much as possible. being a musician, I think, is like owning your own business.
It is.
Because you have to create a brand around yourself. It's like Taylor Swift, she's got red lipstick. Ed Sheeran, he probably hasn't created his own brand on purpose, but he's got glasses and ginger hair, and you get to know people by their own brand.
Yeah.
So as a musician, you almost have to create a brand. Like Oasis, they've got their own brand.
Yeah.
You either love them or you hate them, really.
Yeah.
And as a musician, I think social media is so important because if you're not getting yourself out there on there, then you're going to blend into the crowd alongside millions of other musicians. So I just think the thing that's missing for them is consistency. Like I said, people like musicians, they'll try different things. They might get in a band and break up because it's quite difficult, this, that, and the other. But just being active on social media, they need that knowledge, which is why as well I help artists on a 6-week plan to get their branding out there and stuff like that. And I feel like it's one of the most important things because, like I said, you just need to stand out. So I think that's something that's missing quite a bit for musicians, having that knowledge around branding, like a business. If you're a business owner, you almost need that knowledge around branding, social media, sales. It's kind of the same as a musician. You have to sell yourself to people, you have to brand your music, you have to get your music out there. I think it's pretty much the same in some circumstances.
Yeah, this is really good actually because, I mean, I can relate to this but in a different way. Obviously from running my business, obviously I know people tuning into this as well is that they probably, I mean, even like the next question I'll ask you, they're probably going to feel like, yeah, this is kind of how I'm feeling right now as well. I mean, it does relate to a lot of industries, as you know. I mean, social media is, as you know, it is saturated as well. It is hard to stand out. I mean, algorithms, I mean, you could talk about that word till you die, basically. It's forever evolving and growing. But so obviously social media knowledge, that's great how you've tapped into that. What do you feel is like the big sticking point and the point that holds these music artists back when it comes to putting themselves out on social media or doing it a way that allows them to build a brand?
I'll just say knowledge again.
Really?
Like, you have to have the knowledge. If you don't know how to do it, then you can't do it.
Yeah, of course.
It's like if you don't know how to speak a different language, then you can't just speak it, can you? You can't just suddenly start speaking it. You have to know how to do it to get yourself out there. It's like the thing that's holding them back is a lot of the time some musicians, they don't want to learn, they just want to make their music, which you can understand, you know, as a musician. You want to make music, that's all you love. You might hate just social media, but you almost have to. It's like you have to build that knowledge around social media, like I said, to just get yourself out there, really, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just what you said there. It's the things that they don't want to do. Obviously, in business, I'm sure there's things that you don't want to do. Like, definitely. You don't want to be sending out those 1,000 emails and stuff like that. But it's like, if I want to get more exposure on the platform, if I want to get these more upcoming artists, and you've got to do what you don't want to do. And I think that's something really key here for you guys listening to Extract is you've got to be able to do the things that you really don't want to do, because that allows you to have that long-term fulfillment and allow you to kind of grow. So in terms of like yourself, and I mean, we're going to go back a little bit in time now, just because obviously the business stuff's been really good. Yeah. So what was Alfie like growing up? Like, what was he into? What was his kind of like addiction or something? Yeah, I'd love to know.
God, I got to think now. My memory's so bad. So
wasn't that long ago though.
No, I know, it wasn't long ago at all. I must have a bit of an issue there. So like any other kid, you know, I played games or whatever on my PlayStation and stuff. I've got a PC now, which is great because I can work on it and play. I still sometimes spend an hour or so with my mates playing a game. I've got to live, you know, just got to have that time. I did martial arts when I was younger.
All right, cool.
I still play around with it a bit with my mates. I've got a good mate who's amateur boxer, so I do some stuff with him. I just keep myself active. I used to roller skate loads. Like, I got really good at roller skating, and I would always be experimenting with stuff. I'd be helping mum and dad with business. I'd be getting myself out there. I mean, I'm quite a confident person, and my mum and dad always say when I was younger, like, I'd go up to anyone. Like, I would be like, from ages, like 4 to now, really. Like, I'd just go up to anyone and just speak to them.
Nice.
It's because, like, what have you got to lose?
Yeah,
you know, just speak to them. So I've always been an outgoing person, but I've always kept myself active. And me as a person, I can't sit and just chill. Like, it's difficult for me to watch a film because I just feel like I'm so unproductive. Like, even though you need that time to chill out, I really struggle with that.
Yeah.
And And it's like, oh, you need time to chill out. You need time to take your mind off stuff. I can't,
Right.
And if I love it, the more I don't need to take my mind off it.
Yeah, I get
That's
you.
the way I see it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good what you said there about the rollerblading. It's good what you said there about the martial arts and stuff. Because obviously they're things where, well, it requires consistency.
Yeah.
It requires effort, hard work, discipline. So I guess really you've really, things that you've done as a child have obviously built up your skill set today. But if you could go back tonight after this episode to your parents and you could thank them for one thing, what would it be?
Just bringing me up in the right way.
Okay.
Bringing me up in the right way, and just, they've always encouraged me to try new things. I just think bringing me up in the right way. You know, they've never they've been amazing parents, absolutely amazing. They still are amazing parents.
Yeah.
Forever will be.
Yeah, of course.
But just bringing me up in a way that it's been creative. They've involved me with loads of things, and they just support me so much. Like I said, dropping out of college, your parents might be like, "What are you doing? Why are you dropping out of college? Get a job." This, that, and the other. But they support me so much. They know, because they own businesses. They know what's going on in my brain. You know, I don't want to work for someone else, and so the support from them is amazing. That's everything. I could just thank them for everything. I could go on forever.
Yeah. No. Keep going, because I think it's. I mean, obviously, there's going to be parents in. I mean, I'm a parent now, you know, but there's going to be parents watching in on this that probably their kids are growing up now, and maybe they want them to be able to do what they want to do. Maybe they're now saying, you know, at school, and they go, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" And they go, "I want to be an engineer, or I want to be a business owner," and stuff. So yeah, just keep talking on that in terms of, like, I mean, I guess really it's like what you're grateful for, I guess, in a way, from your upbringing as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been rich. I've never been in a position where, we've had positions where I've obviously had struggles. But I've always lived comfortably, which I'm so lucky for. You know, I'm not going to be a person that's takes advantage of that. I'm so lucky for, and that's what's enabling me to have a business, to continue doing my own things, even if it doesn't work out. That's what's enabled me to, just the way I've been brought up, and you know, it's enabled me to own a business. I'm grateful for the fact that I can experiment with what's going on, even if it's over the next few years. I might have to get a job at the end, but I'm grateful that the position I'm in now, like I said, I don't have to spend money on a lot of things unless I want to go out with my mates or get some new clothes. Obviously, I'm paying for that. But I'm just grateful that I can live in a position where I'm able to try stuff and not be extremely worried about. But I'm grateful that the position I'm in now is a position that's, I don't have to worry about getting money in so much. And it just comes down to why I'm doing it so young, why I'm creating business so young, why I want to do this at this age, is because if I try it now, it might work out in 5 years, it might work out in 20 years, it might work out in 30 years, but it's all experience. It's all experience. The fact that I'm doing it now means by the time I'm 20, even if I do have to get a bit of a job on the side, I've spent 3-4 years with business, trying stuff, and I can always go back to it. And that just comes back to I'm never going to stop thinking about owning a business. It's always something that's there. So. Yeah.
No, that's really good. And I think just even going, I mean, everything that you've actually been sharing today, Alfie, is really kind of connecting the dots in a way, because, you know, you've even spoken about stuff about the Plan A thing, you know, talking about, I guess really you're playing the game, right? When you say playing the game in social media, you're playing the game of life, really. You can take those courageous steps. You can take risks, calculated risks, whatever you want to call it. You're not having to feel that there's pressure to be, but I've got to follow that, but I've got this to do, I've got that to do. You're able to actually play with it, be creative, and, you know, you're sat, I mean, I'm literally listening to you, you're just kind of sat there and chewing, you know, if it don't work out, then I've had 3 to 4 years experience.
Literally.
Cool. No one can take that away from me.
No.
You know what? I might be out for 6 months doing a temporary job. There's always jobs out there. Then I come back in, but I'm going back into it one level up, 2, 3, 4 levels up. I'm not going back and starting all over again.
Yeah,
I think that's really good to kind of hear that. And again, from your age and your background and everything, I think it's really good to hear. And I know it's empowering, inspiring to the guys listening in that you've already got that mindset. So I'd love to know, what do you do behind the scenes that builds up the mindset that you've got? Because it's quite resilient, it's quite strong-minded. I'd love to know if there's anything that you could give to the audience and even give back to yourself right now, thinking, oh yeah, that's what I actually do in my spare time.
This is one thing, I love learning. Yeah. But like I said, I don't really like college. I don't like learning in college. Yeah. I would literally never... My worst nightmare and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, is uni. So
Right.
my worst nightmare
I didn't
is
go uni either. So.
Yeah, I really couldn't imagine going to uni because it just feels like 3-4 years where I could have been super productive, doing my own thing, wasted. Almost.
Yeah, valid.
But I love learning in a way that even if it's just watching YouTube videos, even if it's just hopping on a Zoom call with a business owner, that, you know, I've got a few business owner friends or people that on LinkedIn that I've connected to, and I'll just say, can I hop on a call with you and just chat about business? Nothing to lose, and they might tell me how stuff's going, they might give me a bit of advice on what to do. I love learning, just learning, and learning. I never stop. Like, I'm moving to Spain, and I've forced myself to learn Spanish over the past, like, 3 or 4 months. Because it's been such a, like, it's not been a sudden idea, oh my God, we're moving to Spain, because we've been wanting to do it for quite a while, but it's kicked in now. I'm like, whoa, I need to learn it. But it's almost just having that thing in your brain that's like, I need to learn it. It's not like, oh, I'll learn it tomorrow, I'll learn it next week. Like, and this is a position where I do need to learn it because I'm going to Spain, and I don't want to be an English person in Spain. I want to integrate, you know. But yeah, it's just learning. I just love learning, and behind the scenes, I still do stuff that I enjoy. I go play pool with my mates, you know, whatever. But I like learning, and people, my mates always call me a bit nerdy. I am. Like, I like to sit at home and watch YouTube videos about agency. It's like, a lot of people don't do that. It's not like a normal thing to do, but I just love learning stuff and learning more and more. And I think if I keep doing it for the next like 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, if I just keep learning, then who knows where it could take me.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think what I've learned from that is the fact that obviously you are committed. I think if you're someone that's going to say you're going to do something, you're going to do it, but you're going to do it properly. The fact that, you know, I mean, just putting it out there, most people, if they were moving to Spain, probably even if, like, you know, you're only out there a couple of months, you come back home, you've still learnt Spanish, you know, so you've got a skill that you've learned, you're committed to it. Most people probably wouldn't do that. By the way, probably I wouldn't do that, actually, to be fair to start off with. But, you know, that's just me being honest. But that's really good. And I think as well, the fact that you've spoken and said, can I hop on a call with you? So you're having conversation. I think this is really important, again, for the audience listening in. And this is something that has helped me dramatically in business is having conversations with people that, you know, it's not about comparison of like, oh my gosh, they've got more experience than me, or, you know, they're a better business owner. It's just talking business. Exactly. Having somebody that, and you could learn something, like, say, you learn a lot in conversations, and that can help you go, oh, I'll extract that insight and I'll put that into my business. That's a good idea. But, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Another thing that I just thought off the top of my head is teaching other people stuff. Like, it helps you so much. When you teach other people things, like if I were to just teach a music artist about a bit of social media, it makes you realise, hold on, I need to do that myself. You take the things that you learn and you help other people. I'd be more than happy to have conversations with people that want to know about social media or branding or websites. I'd love to help out, because in my brain I'm just refreshing what I've learned, and it's helping me. I think when I'm teaching them, I think, hold on, that's another thing that I could be doing that I've not even done. So teaching other people as well is really good, because you're just refreshing what you've already learned, and it helps you learn more without even realising you've learned it, basically.
Yes, that's really good. And I like the fact that you like teaching it as well. Obviously, you know, you're embodying it, you're walking the walk. So with regards to the courses, that obviously you said YouTube, have you done any, have you invested in yourself? Have you gone on any courses or anything? I mean, look, there might be people sat here going, oh yeah, you know, maybe I do, I want to learn more about brand, I want to learn more about website building, whatever. But maybe, they're not sure or whatever. Yeah, I was just wondering if you've done any of that stuff behind the scenes, because obviously you did college, but you have you done courses? Or
I've never paid for like a course. I don't see why you need to. Obviously, there's experts out there that are always trying to sell a course.
Course. There you go. No pun intended.
Yeah, you were waiting for that word to use that.
Yeah, of course. I wasn't going to, of course.
And that's their business. They're selling courses to people. And they're making money from their courses. But I'm not putting them down. They've got great businesses. You know, they're selling courses to people. But I think you can learn so much having to pay. You can learn so much. I think it's almost like the thought of, if you want to learn something, either learn it yourself or have someone else do it for you. It's like business owners, they employ people that are better at something than they are. They could probably learn it themselves, but then it comes down to time. We'll employ someone that's better. So I've watched loads of YouTube videos. I've watched a few free courses.
Yeah.
It's like I've just been involved with a few things. I've learned mostly from just being around people.
Yeah.
Not even watching stuff, just being around people. And like, yeah, you can pay for courses if you want. Like, it might help out if you want to have expert advice from someone, like one-to-one or whatever. But I just think you can learn so much for free nowadays because everything's online a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just interesting. I guess obviously through development, through your business, there'll be probably times where you do seek out that stuff. But it's good to know that again, there might be people listening on this that probably don't have that disposable to throw thousands of pounds at a course or whatever. So it's good to know that you've been able to learn so much via a platform and it's kind of free content. So just to kind of delve quickly into the Done Differently.
Yes.
What made you? I mean, the name's brilliant, I think. What made you Dundiff, sorry, yeah, I'm saying Done Differently now. What made you decide to create that? And, who would you say, I know you say music artists, but who would you say specifically for?
So Dundiff isn't for music artists.
Okay.
Dundiff's towards businesses. So
okay.
I've got Musikbox, obviously I'm helping music artists, I'm doing this, that and the other. I've learned so much through it. So much through it. And it might not be the thing that, like I said, makes me loads of money. It might just be something that's there and grows and grows. I want to, as every business owner wants to do, earn a bit of money on the side.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's the goal of a business, really. You want to enjoy it, of course, but you want to earn money from it.
Yeah.
So I set up Dundiff because I want to use the skills that I've learned. I want to use the skills that I've been trying to help musicians with, but with businesses. One, because you can charge more to businesses more to businesses than you can to music artists because they're established. They want to. They have the disposable money almost to spend or invest on things like a website or branding, and a lot of business owners just want someone else to do it for them, pay them a bit of money and they'll do it for them. So I thought I'll take the skill set and I'll help out businesses by offering like branding, social media and website creation. And that's what I'm diving into now because I'm going over to Spain, I can do it from wherever. I can help out expat communities that are setting up bars or restaurants and help them with their marketing or branding and stuff like that. So it's just something where I'm taking all my skills that I've learned, all my skills, putting it into businesses, helping businesses do that, use my skills basically.
Yeah.
And it's just something else that's going to be there and make a bit of money, keep doing Musikbox while it's growing and growing, have a few interviews on the side of Musikbox and just keep going with my Dundiff and see where it takes me. Yeah.
Good pipeline though as well Alfie, for what you're doing, because obviously you're exposing people. Maybe you could be having a conversation again, you're having lots of conversations, which is good to hear from my side, refreshing, because we can digitally be keyboard all the time. It can be quite, like I say, monotonous, draining. The fact that they could say, hey, probably what I am struggling with is maybe how to get my brand across clear. I know what to say, but to kind of put it across to an audience, and that's where something like you would be bridging that gap. So just to, because obviously we're mad, isn't it? We're actually getting towards the end of the episode. There is a quite, it does go quick.
Very quick.
Is that obviously there is a question I want to ask you. I mean, gosh, I feel like I've asked about 50 questions today, which is brilliant. You've answered them really well, by the way. Where can people find you, Alfie, if they like, I want to see where you're at?
Yeah, so first of all, probably should have mentioned this before, Musikbox is spelled with a K. So it's music with a K and then box. So musikbox.co.uk is where you can find Musikbox. And then Dundiff is Dundiff, which is DUNDIFF.com. So dundiff.com is where you can find the new digital marketing agency. I'm on LinkedIn. I do quite a bit on LinkedIn, so just Alfie Bricknell is my name. Of course. Alfie Bricknell. That's where I answer any messages, connect to anyone, I'm always happy to chat with people. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, Musikbox, Dundiff's all on Instagram, Facebook, Musikbox on TikTok, whatever. But I'm always more than happy to have a chat, whether it's Musikbox or Dundiff, and that's where you can find me.
Fantastic, mate. I mean, we'll ensure that everything, even music with the K, is in the show notes. Don't worry about that, so people can find you. So really appreciate that. So last question that I want to ask, and this is what we do to conclude every episode. What does mastering your life mean to you?
Okay, that's a hard question.
Just take your time. It's all
what
good.
What does mastering my life mean to me? I want to just keep learning. Like I said, I want to get really good at things. I think if you're gonna, I just think. I think mastering my life is living like a comfortable lifestyle. Obviously, I want to have friends, family around me. I want to live like a happy life, of course, as everyone does, but like financially debt free, of course. But I'm not scared to say I would like to make the big bucks. Like it's in my brain, you know. I would like to have like a nice house, like a nice car, whatever, and that might change when I get older. But that's not all I want. I don't just want money, you know. Like I said, I want a comfortable lifestyle where I can do what I want. I can go on a holiday if I want. I can go to a different country and work from a different country. I can experience the world. That's one thing. I really want to experience the world. I want to see what's out there. I want to meet new people. And I feel like having money enables you to do that. You can't travel without money. So mastering my life, I just want to live a happy life with, you know, good family, good friends that are around me, and travel, meet new people, get myself out there and just keep learning.
Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, it all interlinks. I know it's a really, I guess it can throw you off, that kind of question, because look, I mean, we kind of talk about it all the time, like you'll never truly, I don't believe you'll truly master your life. Like you say, you're always going to be learning. 100%. And the fact that, you know, you want to bring close people with you, which is great. You want to experience things and you want to just make the big bucks, which, look, at the end of the day, you don't become your own business owner just to get by, do you? So we have to be transparent with that. So look, final thing from me, Alfie, listen, it's been a fantastic episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed having you on, and listen, I will obviously stay in touch, but I wish you all the best on your endeavours to Spain. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to our episode. If you've got any feedback or any questions for us in regards to our in-person podcast episodes, just either drop a comment below, send us a message, and we would love to hear any sort of feedback, and we'll respond within 24 hours and make sure that the next episode is invaluable to your ears. Take care.